Well, you've seen these snippets of video over the past week or two, but Kanye West is not the only one who has had an explosion in the past week. You've seen Serena Williams. You saw Congressman Joe Wilson screaming out during the president's congressional address. So is all this phony or is it planned? That's what we're talking about today.
Dr. Joe Siegler is a psychologist and life coach. Doctor, thanks for joining us this morning.
Larry and Robin, thank you for having me.
Or could this is America just becoming a little bit less civil?
Well, you know what? I think that this is the modern Coliseum of deciding what's the right thing to do. You know, it used to be Sunday in church at your congregation. Now it's the internet. And kids and adults are able to figure out, are celebrities and politicians doing the right thing?
So you're saying that we've got three tips here. Number one, you say this is just general irritability caused by certain triggers. Triggers like what? What does that mean?
Well, I think that it could be anything. All you know is that, like if you look at Kanye West, he's making a choice and he's doing something. And then it could be from something going on in his life. We saw him take a swig on the red carpet. We don't really know. And I don't think it's that important for the public to know, but to look at, is he doing the right thing? When Taylor Swift wins the award by interrupting, is he doing the right thing? And I think in that case, the public felt no. You know, and so it becomes a learning point for all of us. But we do know that something was going on with him.
Well, you know, a lot of people, since he's done this before, think he might have been doing it just for publicity, or maybe there's something really wrong with him. In the Serena Williams case, we've never really seen anything like that from her before. Is this just something that you think just she lost her cool and she wasn't doing well in the match and it just happened? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I think there's a hierarchy. You know, when I was thinking about these three cases, I think that Serena is the athlete and she's fueled up. She hasn't done this before. I think that is the less serious of the three because you're right. It was out of character. Maybe she didn't sleep right. Maybe something's going on in her life, and where Larry's getting at, maybe she was irritable. Maybe something's bothering her and it was just a trigger. But again, she was a pumped-up athlete, and I think that's the least severe of the three examples.
And the second point you sort of touched on is, you know, manipulating to get media attention, and leading into the third tip, which is how social media is somewhat at the root of trying to get this attention and other things as well.
Right. It's sort of like an instant fame. It could be broadcast all over the globe. So we don't know. Was Kanye West just trying to get publicity for himself? You know, he said he was doing it for Beyonce, but it felt like it was very self-serving. And I think that if people are very self-serving, I don't think the public likes that as much.
Yeah.
In this era of like reality TV, Facebook, Twitter, and all this stuff, is there something to be said for people feeling like getting it all out there is always the way to go and it makes them feel better, whereas, you know, we used to just kind of keep things to ourselves, right?
Right. And I think one of the things you're seeing, Robin, is that we're seeing people's flaws much more because of the internet than we did in the past. Everyone always tried to look perfect, but now there is no being perfect because you have paparazzi following you. You have events like we saw with Kanye West where you're broadcast over the world. So basically, I think the public doesn't need you to be perfect, but they want you to be doing the right thing. You know.
But for the rest of us who are not famous, has social media just made us sort of more self-centered than we normally are?
I don't think so, Larry. I think it makes you say, if that were me, how could I manage myself better? You know, would I, if I were playing tennis, is it okay that I lose it, or is it better if I manage myself? Kanye West, was he respectful to Taylor Swift? Joe Wilson, do you ever tell the President of the United States that you're lying in public in the House of Representatives? Is that doing the right thing? And so these are great teaching stories for the public, and I think that's where we're at with the internet. You could look at it as a bad time where everything's visible, or I'm starting to look at it as a good. These are the modern stories to teach children what the right thing is, for each of us as adults to say, am I managing my life, no matter what's going on in my life, relational, my habits, am I still managing myself as well as I can?
You sounded a bit like a therapist there. Your book is called Fire Your Therapist, Joe.
Nope. Robin, that's a coach. I'm talking about outcomes.
Okay. Joe Siegler, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
7:49, time now for news for your family.